Yes.
It's us.
It is us.
Welcome back.
Hello.
How have you been this week?
Oh, boy. Let me tell you what happened. So there I was.
It feels like every week it's, oh boy, here it goes.
Okay, so we recorded last weekend, right? Our first episode of season 4 without a hitch. It was fine. Monday was fine. It was back to work as normal. Then Tuesday, I decided, oh, it's nice outside. Let's take the younger 2 kids and let's go out and rake up all the leaves. Because we still have leaves from the fall. And
for a second, I was like, where is this story going? I don't remember this story, but no.
In March is when tick season starts to happen here in Tennessee. And you got to prepare for it. Otherwise, you're going to be, you're gonna be pulling ticks from places you don't want them.
I still feel like just stay away from the leaf piles. I guess the solution.
I guess so, but that's really hard when you have dogs and they run around and they're
that's fair.
Dinguses.
Yep.
Anyways, and so we're out there raking, me and the younger boy, and then the little girl's running around. But she, she wants to go over the fence because she wants to go she wants to go like, sit on the tractor.
Yeah.
And so instead of walking her all the way around the fence and going through the gate, I just decided, hey, you know what? I'm a big buff lady. I'll just pick up all of her 61 pounds and I'll put it over the gate, over the fence.
I want to say,
5-foot fence.
Right. I want to say as a man nearing his 50s, that was a mistake.
Yeah. I thought I could handle it, man.
No,
and
old bodies don't work the same as young bodies.
So the first time I did it, I went, okay, no more, okay, because it's gonna get too much, right? Well, we were doing more leaves and stuff, and then she came back on the other side of the fence through the gate this time. Yep. And so I was like, okay. And then I get into the groove of raking leaves again, and then she wants to go back over the fence. And I go, oh, man, alive. So I pick her up and I put her over the fence and I go, uh-oh. Yep. There's something in my back that goes, hello.
You pushed it.
Once was enough,
lady. You pushed it. You're like the person who's like, I can speed because I've never been caught. And then you get a ticket. Yeah. Because you pushed it. You pushed it.
So it didn't start hurting at all. Yeah. And then you came out and you're like, hey, it's snack time. And I go, okay, cool, I'm coming in. So I decide to jump the fence.
I didn't come out and say that. I signed to you from very far away that it was apple snack time.
Yes, you signed to me. So I go to jump the fence. And I'm wearing boots that are man size. They're a couple man sizes too big for me.
Just sizes.
But they're comfortable. Oh, that's true. That's true.
Right.
They're comfortable, and so I went to jump the fence.
Right.
And I did not land gracefully. Let's just say it was like. It was like, have you ever seen when giraffes war each other? Like, have you ever seen a giraffe war? Well, they swing their necks at each other.
What?
And it just...
Giraffes don't war.
Yes, they do.
No.
Look it up. Go look, giraffes fighting. And I swear to God, I swear on my life, it is the most ungraceful looking thing you've ever seen in your life. That is how I jumped this fence.
Well, I mean, is a giraffe graceful at all?
No. And that's what's funny about it. Right. That's why I equate to everything... I've got big Sasquatch feet, and then I go to jump like a tiny little 4.5-foot, 5-foot fence, and I look like, a giraffe doing something wild. Okay? So then I go inside.
Giraffe's gone wild.
That's a whole nother kind of video.
Oh.
And I make apple snack, and I just go to stretch because I'm like, oh, my back's tight. Yep. And I put both of my hands, both of my arms over my head.
Yikes.
And it felt like...
Something popped.
Not popped. It felt like burning lightning.
Oh.
From my neck all the way down my shoulder blade.
Ow. I've been there.
And then for like 4 days, and even now, it hurts to move my arm.
Yeah.
My left arm is just... it's out of commission, basically, and I have to... Now I'm doing everything like a... like someone who can't lift their arms.
You were going to try to do another animal metaphor. I could see it in your eyes. You're like, you were like, catalog of animals. What's a weird thing? And then you said like someone that can't move their arm.
It's like I have to go like a sloth. I have to be like really slow with my movements. Otherwise, I'm going to hurt it again.
No,
There was a point on, this happened on Tuesday.
Right.
There was a point maybe Wednesday where I couldn't look down and breathe in at the same time. It hurt so bad.
That was not just one point on Wednesday. That was all of Wednesday.
Okay, well, but I'm saying I realized on Wednesday that if I looked down and I breathed in, it like sent lightning around my shoulder blade and took my breath away.
But I want to say, and not to embarrass you, but I want to say you were doing the old cupcake experiment the whole time because I watched you realize this very early in the day and then continue to repeat that behavior throughout the day and then get mad at yourself because you're like, I knew I shouldn't have done that, but I did it anyways, all day long. Because here's the thing about you.
Breathing is an automatic response. You can't help it.
This is not what it was. It's because you refuse to ask for or receive help for any of your perceived duties around the house. So if somebody goes, hey, can I help you with that thing? You go, I've got it. Even when you're injured. And then you look down and breathe in and go, oh. And I'm like, why are you doing that? Can I just help you?
And ow, the funny not so funny thing is the funny not so funny thing is that I hear what you're saying, but it's just an automatic thing where I go, no, I'm fine. I got it.
Yeah, because you've always had to survive and be tough and not depend on other people.
Yeah, that freaks me out when I ask you to do something. It's a huge deal because I sit there and go, well, is he going to do it the way I wanted him to do it? Is he going to do it when I want him to do it? Is he going to do it how I want him? Like, when is he going to do it? And all of that
information you have not shared.
Yeah,
you just go, I need you to do this thing, and then that's it.
Yeah.
That's the brief I've received.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to just let me do it whatever way. Or you need to add that additional context, right?
I know, but it's a frightening thing. I only realize these things about myself when I hurt myself. Like last year, I think I hurt my knee. Yeah. I think it was last year. I hurt my knee pretty bad.
It was bad, yeah.
And I had to use a cane. It's not easy for me to go, hey, can you grab me that cup? When I can just get up, get my ass over there and get me that cup.
Right.
But when I'm hurt, it's like, that's a lot of effort for very little payout when I can just go, hey, can you grab me that cup?
Yeah.
It seems so easy. It seems so simple to just say the words. But for me in my gut, it's like, why would I don't want to depend on anyone. If I can't get up and get myself that cup, then I just don't get that cup. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's silly business.
It doesn't make sense, but then it makes so much sense.
That's something that's similar or not similar, but that's something that we've been discussing at work around the design system of, accessibility and making sure that people who have disabilities can still access whatever we're serving them, right?
Right.
In some context within the industry I work in, a lot of that stuff is built around transactions of like, I'll give you this if you give me that, like some sort of exchange. Mm-hmm. But not all design work is like that. Some design work is just, we're offering this and you can access it freely. But if we're not giving it great accessibility for all types of people, right? And one time we were having a discussion with one of the groups and they're like, oh yeah, well, we don't have anybody on our team that has that XYZ disability. Uh-huh. And we're like, well, that's awesome. But the reality is that everyone in their life at some point has a disability, whether it's temporary or transitory or permanent.
Yeah.
You're going to experience that. And then your situation with having used a cane, that was you experiencing a temporary disability, a transitory disability, right? But then you are not typically disabled in those ways. And so then when you get to that point and you're in that zone, you continue to behave in the way that you've always behaved, even though you physically can't anymore. Mm-hmm. So it's just an interesting.
Yeah. Well, I've always had back problems, and I've always somehow or another.
Yeah, I mean, you're legally disabled because of your surgery, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm always in some sort of pain, whether it's, mild or major, but you never, it's hard for me to like ask for help, even when it hurts.
You never have.
There are times when I go, can you go get,
when you are at the very last vestiges of rope. Yeah. When you're at the very end, you're like, no, I can't hold on to I'm going to fall.
Yeah.
That's when you ask.
I know.
Like you're on the side of a cliff with one hand and you just got two fingers still holding on. That's when you ask.
Yeah. I'm kind of a pain in the ass.
No, you're not a pain in the ass.
I don't like taking medication. So I don't take pain reliever unless I really absolutely need it.
You're really bad about that too. I shouldn't say bad about that. I mean, that's a good thing, right? You don't want to get.
No, I don't go to the doctor unless I really need to. I'm all about preventative.
I just realized you're like a 60-year-old stubborn man.
Okay, all right.
Doctors, no.
In my mind, if I went to the doctor every time I had a pain, I would live there. Right. It'd be everyday thing.
Yeah, chronic.
So my pain threshold is already pretty high since I was, 10 because of what I've been dealing with my back. And so every once in a while I tweak it too far one way or another. And so then I have to deal with 4 or 5 or 6 days of hurt. But when I say I'm fine, I'm not trying to like look like a badass. I'm just, I'm willing to go through the pain to get that thing done. And then I can go sit or lay down. Because I know that if I stop moving every time I have a pain, then I might as well just get in the ground, right?
Yeah.
It's difficult for me. It's something I have to work on, I know, but for the time being, I don't see like a way to, like, it is better today since, it's better today than it was on Tuesday.
Progressively getting better over the last week because you are moving around more and understanding where the limit is of your new limitation, right? I wanted to say I'm very similar to you on the doctor thing, as I will only go to the doctor if I think there isn't anything else. Like they're going to have to save me, right?
Yeah.
Because I just don't, but mine's for a different reason.
Yeah.
Mine's not out of toughness. Mine is out of like cheapness. Like I don't want to, I don't want to give any of the money.
I'll go to the doctor and stuff for preventative things, right? Checkups, female situations. I'll do that.
Right.
Because then I know that gives me power and peace of mind.
Right.
But like if I get also the same day I got a splinter in my finger from the rake. And it's in a part of my finger where I'd have to twist my hand weird. And I could ask for help. And at one point I did come in here because my back was hurting. I couldn't twist my finger enough with the tweezers to get it out. And so I was like, can you just help me?
No, that's not what happened. That's not what happened. You came in with the tweezers and you did not say, can you help me get this splinter out? You said, I have a splinter. Can I borrow your magnifying glasses? Because I have some glasses that I bought for putting miniatures together that magnify from like 1/2 to like 200,000 or something. Crazy range. And I was like, well, let me just try it out for you. And the whole time I was trying to get the splinter out, you were moving around and twisting your finger and stuff. And I'm like, and then you just started digging in there with like a safety pin. I'm gonna get out of the way. I'm the one with the glasses on. Let me do this. And you're just like, no, let me. And then you said, give me those. And then you took the glasses. And then I left. I was like, fine, you're going to do some sort of like mining experiment or something. And then you're just in here like digging at your own finger with these glasses on your head. I was like, all right.
I was furious at myself.
Yeah.
One, I picked up 60 pounds of child, put it over the fence twice, didn't wear gloves while using a wooden rake. Like, I did it to myself, but at the same time, I was like, why me? Well, I couldn't even put my pajamas on that night. I was like, why? What did I do? I was so mad at myself.
That's another thing is
I was so mad
tried
at
to
myself.
help you with your pajamas. And you had your compression socks on, and I was like, okay, let's get these off. And I started to take them off exactly the way that I watched you do it. And you're just like, oh, that's not the way to do it. That's not how you do it. This isn't the way you do it. And then I get them off, and you're like, that's not it. That's not the way it is done. And I'm like, do you want to hurt yourself some more? Or like, what's the deal?
Well, it only hurts if I push something or I pull something. So
Right. And that's all of getting dressed.
getting dressed or making a bed, it's like the worst feeling.
Right.
Oh, it is terrible.
That's a lot of terribleness.
It is better today, but there are times where I move weird and it goes, hey, we're still hurt back here.
Yeah.
Slow down a minute.
Backs are weird, especially up in the upper, like the shoulder blade lat area.
It's terrible.
If you get like a knot or a tweak or something,
Yeah.
it will last for a while because it's hard to get. And especially for you, like
I don't have
can
range of
stretch.
motion.
Yeah, I can stretch. You can't do that.
Yeah.
So for you got the fused spinal cord. And so you're kind of just like stuck with it there.
I have a fixed range of
yeah,
motion and it's not much. And so
You can neither arch nor round your back.
no, because it's, I think now, like if I had to have surgery now,
They would have put in something more flexible.
yeah, they have more flexible, I don't even know what you would call it, a flexible situation bar system that they can do to give people more range of motion because athletes can sometimes hurt their back. And so they need that more.
But it can only flex in one direction, right? Because the whole problem that you had was that you were twisting.
Yeah, I didn't have just an S curve in my spine, which was a severe curve. It was like a 60-degree curve at the top. But I was also, they put me in a brace and then I was also rotating.
Yeah.
So I was rotating. So it was like pushing one side of my ribs out farther than the other side of my ribs.
Yeah.
So it was just way bad. And they didn't even want to give me surgery at 12. They wanted to wait till I was done growing at like 14 or 15.
Yeah.
But they just couldn't. They gave me enough room at the top and enough room at the bottom. And I grew into that even. So I should have been probably way taller than I am. But I was already...
Well, how tall was your mom?
She is really, really close to being 6 foot.
Yeah.
So she says 6 foot. Is when I was a kid, she said 6
And
foot.
on her side, there's a lot of tall
A
people.
lot of tall people.
Yeah, you probably could have been 6 foot.
And I'm already 5'10",
Yeah.
and I was 5'8", I think, at the time of when I was 12.
Right.
So they thought that, I was I was already a pretty tall woman for being 12. So they, they felt better by going ahead
5'8"
and fusing all that.
that's a good height for a lady, right?
Yeah. And I still was able to use that couple of inches on the top and bottom to like grow in.
Yeah.
Oh boy. But, at 43, having 30 years worth of back aches and pains or whatever, I'm doing pretty good. I'm still mobile.
Yeah, you are not as your disposition, your daily demeanor isn't as bad as I would assume it would be for 30 years of chronic back pain.
Yeah. But there's no way I could like work a job where I'm sitting or standing for more than, a little bit at a time.
Yeah,
and that's
when
where
you worked at Art Shutterbug, right? In the photo lab, you had a stool that you would like take a load off.
Yeah.
But you were mostly stand sitting.
Yeah.
Most of the time, right? You weren't
and
ever...
I can't do one or the other for too long.
Yeah.
I have to have moments of rest.
Which is also part of your problem with asking for help, is because you just like to do the things and get them done, moving forward constantly.
It's so bad, right? It's so bad that I always feel like I'm not doing enough.
That's
and that's
fucking
the mom
bullshit.
guilt
Yeah,
thing.
that's bullshit.
But just as a person, I feel like I'm
No, you're doing too much.
lazy.
No, come on.
And that's how I feel, though. That's how I feel. In my soul, I feel like I don't do as much as I should be doing.
But that's all toxic society behavior, right?
I hear you, but it's still
human
there.
beings were designed to take long naps, then get up and be like, we should probably find some food. and
or
then
fight.
go back to fucking sleep.
Yeah.
We weren't made to like do 9 to 5s. And, you know, if you're not constantly hustling, what's the point? I don't know, dude, but I don't think there is a point.
Yeah, that's exactly the point, is that there is no point.
I heard a thing this morning that is like, I can't remember the exact paradox, but it's like Fermi, something. But there's mathematically, there should be over 100,000 galaxies or solar systems in our area of the universe with life.
What? Yikes.
But like they're all either hiding, right? Or just gone, and we are alone.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, that's a lot. That's weird. Why? And then you start thinking about why would they hide? And if they're not hiding, why are they gone?
Yeah. It's like one
Yeah,
extreme and another.
I'm gonna have to look it up and put it in the show notes, the exact name of that. I just saw it this morning and I was like, that's not a good Sunday morning thought. And then I just immediately started thinking about how like I've been doing, you know, because you loop these things back into your own personal space. And I was like, I've been doing web stuff for 21, almost 22 years. And I don't know even close to all of it. But the majority of people would consider me an expert. I consider myself an expert in some facets, right? But I still, even in those things that I think I'm an expert,
Yeah.
I don't know even anywhere near everything. And then am I even an expert then? Can you be an expert in anything?
Yeah, I think you
No.
have to always be learning.
Yes, but can you ever become an expert?
I
Can you
don't-
ever know everything? It's impossible,
No,
right?
it is impossible. I don't like it when people call
Not
call
everything,
themselves or
like everything, but everything about one thing.
yeah.
You could, okay, look, you could memorize, let me just make a really finite example. You could memorize every Pokemon, right? Which
Yeah.
Cameron basically
Pokemon.
has. Every single one of them.
Yeah.
But there would still be stuff you don't know about Pokemon.
Yeah. Well, yes, unless you created that. But even then,
Even if you created it, because I create shit all of the time. And as soon as I put it in the world, I don't remember any of the process,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
I like, you could start quoting to me a story I wrote and put on Lehu. And I would be like, that sounds cool. Where's that from?
You're like, you said it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying is like, and the same thing happens to, you know, authors of these, you know, Game of Thrones, like people quote stuff back to him and he's like, oh, I don't know about that. It's in the book.
Yeah. Yeah.
But even those people who are like, I know exactly which enterprise exploded.
The people that
They
can
still
quote
don't know
episodes
everything.
and
Yeah.
like know every little
They still don't know everything.
I think
You can't.
I think that's fascinating though.
It's scaring me.
It's a little scary because then you go, whoa, that is a lot of your life right there. But
Yeah.
but it's still like really nerdy and really fascinating when people can do that. And they go, well, in episode 3, Saru says this, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
Okay, we're in it now. We're real about it.
I mean, think about like just hobbies too, because hobbies are things that you tend to like dive deeper into, right? Than things that you get paid for.
Yeah.
Although for me, it's different, but like my board game hobby, I know more about board games than probably 95% of the people on the planet Earth, right? But every single day I learn about a new board game I've never heard of.
Yeah, because it evolves. Like once it's
Constantly moving.
once things are out there, it evolves and changes,
Yeah.
and it becomes something else, and it becomes something more, and then
It's humbling.
you always have to be learning.
Yes.
I think.
Yes, true. It's humbling. It's overwhelming, but it still does not prevent me from rolling my eyes at you if you recommend a dumb game. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. All right.
Well, I found a quote I was perusing the Instagram this morning.
Oh no, quote of the week is back.
No.
Oh.
But it has to do with our topic for today.
Well, I don't want to get into the topic yet. I
no,
still have something.
Okay, hang on one sec. Okay, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay. All right. It's a book called The Mastery of Self. I don't know if this is a good book or a bad book. I'm just saying that there's a quote in a book by Don Miguel Ruiz Jr. And it sounded pretty interesting, but there's a quote in the book that says, whatever you are not changing, you are choosing.
Yikes. That's gross.
But it makes a lot of sense. Now, I'm
Like,
not
I don't
saying
know. I
it's
don't wanna
a
say-
bad thing or a good thing. I'm just saying that, you know, if you change your mind, you're choosing to do so. And if you don't change your mind, you're choosing to do that. I don't think that it can be, I don't think it has to be negative or positive. I just think overall as beings, whatever we, you know, decide is what we choose.
I don't know anything about that book. I've never heard
neither.
of it before, but the title makes me feel like it's probably problematic.
Yes, maybe so. But that the quote really stuck out to me because we're talking about books
Well,
today.
it is interesting, right? That you are, but are you? Like, we just finished that show.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, which brings me to my next point. Is everything fated to happen, or do we have choice? Do we have free will? Do we have,
I don't know.
or is it a little mixture of both? That's what because
I don't think everything's on rails.
we just rewatched an older is it old? It's not old,
It's
really.
not too old. It's,
A couple years old.
yeah.
A show called Devs.
Right.
But you had seen it before and I hadn't seen it, but I watched all 8 episodes.
Right.
And while using the heating pad or some sort of icy hot combo. And it freaks me out because it was all about whatever we say and do, it's fate. It's already been planned out. We're just watching our lives and things around us unfold, which gives me a lot of like, nah, because why am I the way I am then? Because I question everything. You tell me something, you go, this is the right way to paint. I go, why?
Yeah.
What the fuck does it matter?
Right.
Now it matters to some people because people want to do the right way to do something or not at all, which I totally get.
Yeah.
Because I have that part of me as well to a certain degree. But I don't like the idea that I am meant to say these things and that it's already been said, these things, and I'm just watching myself say them. That freaks me out. Because I've always been like, nah, fuck off.
Yeah, I don't think that's...
This is my choice in my life, and I get to make those decisions.
I don't know what's actually happening, but I don't think it's on rails. There's a lot of... so the problem for me with that, just even debate or conversation about it, is that anything that you say against the idea that we're on rails can be combated.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Right?
That's
so
why,
there's no real way to have that
theory.
conversation, right? But I don't think so. I don't believe that that's the truth. I do have a real problem with when I hear something that sounds logical and sound, that my brain goes, that's the thing. Okay, so like the painting thing, for example, I heard that on Karate Kid originally, paint up and down. But then I heard somebody who paints for a living say that was correct for brush, right? All in the same direction. And so it stuck in my head because I thought, okay, that I saw that on Karate Kid, and I'm really exposing myself here. Like, I was like, oh, Karate Kid, that's, why would they say that? That can't be wrong. And then somebody who does it for a living, an expert, if you will, parroted that. And I was like, well, that must be it.
Right.
But I'm also the kind of person who doesn't even need that extra expert thing, right? I read in a book one time, people who are born under the Cancer sun sign are content. And I was like, that's how I'm going to live my life, as a content person.
Yes.
And I have to work really hard to overcome those suggestible pieces of my conscious, right? Like I have to go, wait a minute, hold on a second. Let's look into this a little bit further before we bring this into our lives as a
truth.
Yeah.
Right.
And I don't know that, I can't imagine a reality where we are on rails because there's so many granular, finite decisions that we're making every day. It's really hard for me to wrap my head around it.
Yeah.
Yeah, get it. Just like anything, it's possible, I guess.
Now, what I've always kind of end up siding with in a lot of things is it a little of both? Like, do we have certain like major fate moments, and then we get to make choices interwoven in that? Like, do we get to have a little of both if we choose and if we fight for those things?
Yeah, I mean, if it is possible for it to be 100% fate, or it's possible for it to be 100% free will, then there is absolutely a possibility for it to be a little of both.
Because that
Or a lot of one and a little of the other, or a lot of the other
Yeah.
and a little of one. Like there's
Yeah.
infinite possibilities, right?
right.
Yeah.
Okay, then settled.
I think, well, I don't think it's settled. I do think that the fate argument starts to solidify when you bring into the idea that there's like many worlds, right? That's what they say in the show, but like multiverse type of thing.
Yeah.
Where every decision you've ever made has been made every possible way, but not necessarily by this you.
Right. So it's
but
like
by
a tree.
a different you of you.
It's like a tree.
Yeah.
The minute you make one statement or one little itty bitty tiny decision, it branches.
Which supports fate, because then that means that regardless of whatever decision you made in this present,
You have made
you
it.
have made every other decision too.
Yeah.
Which that's hard to.
It is, because then you go, okay, well, then it doesn't matter what I say or do because it's
but
going
it
to happen.
does for
But it
this
does.
present.
It does, because
Even if that is the case, and then that automatically makes it fate, it also makes it free will, because you in this present you is making a choice of infinity choices,
yeah.
but it's not the same choice that you always make. If fate was fate, then all versions of you in all universes and dimensions and realms would make the same choice,
Yeah.
in my mind.
Yeah. So I'm going to make a correlation, and I want you to stick with me here. So you know how, like in the movie Moana, when she's like trying to get Maui to take the stone back to wherever.
The heart of Te Fiti.
Yeah. And she's asking the water to help her. She's like, help me get to the boat, right?
Right.
And then she's like, ugh. And then she starts swimming, and then the water helps her.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I think really is the root of it all, is that, and I used to believe this too when I like followed Christianity as a religion kind of thing,
Right.
is that you get help when you fight for it. When you want it, it's there. But if you don't make an effort for it or with it, or then it's gonna look like it's forsaken you. It's gonna look like it's not there.
Right.
If you're not fighting for that thing, if you're not fighting to, get a better job, or if you're not really actively fighting for that thing, then it won't happen, because there's nothing like really backing you energy wise and whatever and whoever, unless you ask for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I don't know that I agree with that.
Not like magical forces. I'm not,
No, that's not what I mean. I just mean I don't think that the level of effort you put into something necessarily garners you any reward, right?
No.
Because there are people
Yes.
on this planet who are extremely privileged and do nothing,
Right.
and continue to
That makes
receive. And then there are people who work their fucking tails off.
Agreed.
12 hours a day, 40 hours, or 70 hours a week, and get nothing.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you there. I just mean, like,
I mean, in that situation in Moana, I think the ocean was a supernatural thing.
Yeah.
And wanted her to prove that she was really trying to do that. But I don't know that you can apply that same thing to all life, right?
Right.
Or at least maybe that's not modern day life. Maybe back in the day it was like,
I don't know. It just
I feel like the earth's dying, and the earth.
Oh no.
No, I believe that the reason we don't have gods in the way that we had gods in the ancient history times is because all of that energy is being sapped, and there's so many people who don't believe anymore.
And there's more takers than givers.
I do believe that if there is gods, right, among us, that their energy comes from our worship and our belief and our support, and not from just being some sort of supernatural deity, right?
Yeah.
So if we are getting further and further away from the land, more and more enclosed in their concrete prison cells, which, just a city, I don't mean literally a prison cell, but just the city it's made of concrete, right? The whole thing is just divorcing us further and further from the earth and nature and spirit and spirituality and all of that stuff. I can't imagine that those things are still around. If they are, they're very weak, right?
Yeah,
we worship new gods now.
Right, the dollar sign.
Technology. Yeah.
We're de-evolving.
I don't know
Devolving.
that
How
we're
do you say it?
de-evolving, but we're definitely not progressing closer towards the light of everything.
We're missing the point, some of us.
All of us. Every one of us is missing the point. Even those of us who are very introspective and insightful and think about things a lot are still missing the point, right?
Yeah.
Because we still, at the end of the day, when we take our thinking cap off, we still put on Hulu and right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, yes.
We don't want to give up hot water. We don't want to give up being able to go to the grocery store. We've become prisoners of our own making here, right? And now we are so divorced from the reality of life. Of course, most of us are sick and dying, and hate runs rampant, right?
Yeah.
If Lucifer wasn't just a metaphor, right? That would be the embodiment of demonic possession, is the way that we act now, right?
Yikes.
As a human race.
I can see that. Right. I don't have to have all the answers.
This is why the Egyptian people could build pyramids, because they didn't have any distractions the way that we do today. Not saying that we would build pyramids if we didn't have the internet or Hulu. What I'm saying is this is like, there wasn't alien intervention, right? And I know I've said in a past episode, what about this conspiracy thing? But I really believe those peoples did that on their own, but they also didn't have a bunch of stuff divorcing them from the land and from nature and from, you know what I mean?
I guess. I don't have to have all the answers, but I like being able to question
I do. Yeah, I do that too. I like to think about stuff, but I don't know. I don't know really.
And it's not something we can ever really know or really prove either.
Because we perceive time
linearly. Yeah.
Linearly. I don't know.
However you say it. I've heard it lots of ways.
All right. I wanted to tell you about this thing I saw. It's going around the internet right now, so people probably heard this, but there's this lady who's currently dating Kanye West.
Oh man.
And I guess he's been dressing her. He's been putting clothes on her to as a fashion statement, I guess. I don't know the story.
He's spiraling because he's trying to fix something.
Yeah, I don't want to make judgments on Kanye. I think there's something he needs help with. But anyways, he doesn't even have anything to do with this. She was on a podcast recently, and they asked her if the host asked this person, do you think that you're Ye's muse? And Ye is
Kanye?
What people call Kanye, right?
Oh boy.
And she goes, I think so. And then the host goes, do you know what a muse is?
What's a muse?
And she goes, yeah. So I was Josh Safdie's muse when he wrote Uncut Gems, things like that. And people really
Why did she say it like that?
I know, California accent. Okay. It's real Valley Girl of her. But look, people have been eviscerating her for this pronunciation of gems. There are entire TikTok videos of just people walking around the house, uncut gems. But that's not my problem with it. And I don't know if I it's because I grew up in California and like I'm used to that. I talk like that a little bit, right? Like, oh my God, okay. L, right? I got it. That doesn't bother me. What bothers me is she thinks that she inspired Uncut Gems, the movie. Ma'am. Miss, please. No, you did not inspire that. You were sleeping with him maybe while he wrote that screenplay. That you didn't inspire that. You may have inspired the part that made us turn the movie off. Okay? Okay?
Ouch.
But ma'am, no. No inspiration there. That you were not the muse for Uncut Gems.
Ma'am.
No.
I was just telling Liam this morning that I don't like being called ma'am.
I know. I don't think a lot of people do. Here's the problem.
And it's not an old thing because I like being older. I wouldn't go back and be a kid, but I don't like being called ma'am.
Yeah. I think with the nation going, anyways, I don't, the whole gender, like the gender awakening thing, right? I think that ma'am and sir feel harsher than they are intended to feel. I have always said ma'am and sir because I've been mimicking my father, who I would watch talk to people when I was a child, and he would always say, okay, sir, thank you, sir. And I just was like, oh, that's a polite way to be.
Yeah.
And I still have to catch myself, right? Because I don't want to offend people, and I don't want people to think that I'm misgendering or purposefully doing that, right?
Yeah.
I've also tried to cut out, hey guys, thanks guys,
Yeah.
because that's super gendered too, right? And I'm trying to use folks more often.
Yeah, I use people or persons.
Or people or y'all.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I don't want people to feel unsafe or just hurt around me because I don't know enough about us, right, as a group. So yeah, I don't know. I don't have I try not to use that word too much, but as far as I know, this person does identify as a woman. And I just think going, ma'am, is pretty funny. But I don't think she inspired Uncut Gems. I mean, look.
Oh, you're going to hurt me.
Is she a muse in other ways? Did she inspire him to do the work? Maybe. But ma'am.
I can't.
You did not inspire the content of that film. Okay.
But she's like...
Have you seen it? Have you seen the movie? It's not about what you think it's about. If you think you inspired it.
Ma'am, I don't think you know what that word means.
Yeah, I don't know that maybe that's the thing, is that she just doesn't understand what a muse is. Like for a lot of my life, you have been my muse in creation, but I'm not creating things that are directly inspired by your essence, right? I'm creating things to try to make a life for our family, and you're the inspiration for that, right? You're the core, the heart of that. But I would never go, oh yeah, Red Palm, my short story about the killer robot, inspired by Lou, right? No.
Red Palm.
You inspired me to do that work, but you did not inspire that story, right? So anyways, I don't know.
Oh, people.
I don't know.
People crack me up. They think they're...
I guess. We're at 45 minutes. This might just already be an episode. We do what? Do you want to go into the... Do we have a lot to say? I feel like this is a big...
No, it's not that big.
Okay.
But
well, let's talk about it then. Our topic this week is...
I wanted to talk about banned books, right? Because it's a big hot topic right now about
But
people.
it's always been a topic,
always
right?
been a thing, okay?
People want to stop other people from hearing thoughts they don't like or don't agree with.
Yes, and it's so annoying because recently they had Tennessee, of all places, came out and said,
What do you mean of all places?
It's the
way
heart
on
of
brand.
things, yeah.
No, way on brand for Tennessee.
Tennessee, shocker, came out and said that they're going to ban the book Mouse. Or
Mouse.
Mouse, however you say it.
It's Mouse, I
They're
think.
going to ban the book Mouse.
You're talking about the graphic novel?
Yes, the graphic novel. And they're not going to teach it in school anymore.
Yeah, it's Mouse.
And I heard it from...
Wait, they never taught it in... Were they teaching it in school?
I don't know. I didn't think they would. I don't know where...
Maybe some teacher somewhere was like, hey, you guys should read this.
Yeah, I guess. And some
School board comment.
white person somewhere went, wait.
I was trying to be kind and generous and say the school board, but you're like, you went right to the core of it. Some
the school board is made up of parents and people who want to control the young people's minds, okay, in one way or another.
Do we know why Mouse was banned?
I think it's
profanity
nudity and
nudity.
violence too. So
profanity and nudity.
Now, admittedly,
wait, can I say one thing real quick on the nudity part of it? The nudity part I might agree with just because it's a picture book, right? It's a graphic.
Yes.
It's a novel, but it's graphically illustrated throughout. So the nudity makes a little bit more sense, but the profanity is ridiculous. And if the nudity was just written out, I think that's also ridiculous.
Yeah.
But if it's a visual drawing of nudity, I can see where that might be a problem for younger kids, for some people. I personally, like, whatever. I don't care either way. I don't want graphic porn.
Right.
But if it's just somebody... And I haven't read this yet, but I believe the context of the nudity is not sexual.
No, it's violence against someone's body.
Right.
Right? In some way, I'm sure.
Yep.
Now, admittedly, I didn't even know this book existed. I know you did, and I think our boys did, but I didn't. And so Maya Bialik, she posted something about that it was being banned, and I was like, well, what's this about? And so I went on Amazon and I bought it because it was a graphic novel and there was part 1, part 2, and I'm like, I am of the mind where someone tells me not to do something, I go, but why? And so I want to find out why, because I'm just the opposite. If someone tells me not to do something, I want to do it, or I want to look into doing it because there's a reason why someone's telling me not to. Or if someone tells me to do something, I go, no, not until I know why. So
this is why you are bad at being a worker.
Yeah, probably
in the workforce, because people are like, do what I say, and you're like, why?
I mean,
fuck you.
It was the reason why I was a bad daughter. It's the reason why that I butt heads with people.
You're not a bad daughter.
It's the reason why I butt heads with people, because I don't believe anyone.
I want you to reframe the bad daughter thing as you had bad parents.
I was a bad daughter to them.
No.
They wanted a different kind of daughter.
No.
But anyways, it has nothing to do with books.
No. Back up. Rephrase it. You had bad parents.
Okay.
Say that.
They were bad parents for me?
No.
Yes.
Just flat out bad parents. You were not a bad daughter.
Okay.
Please?
Anyways.
No.
Okay.
You were not a bad daughter.
Okay, I agree with you. Okay. Anyways.
Then say that.
So I had
some more books that were banned.
Some more books. Yep. And the most banned book of overall is 1984.
For sexual content?
For sexual content, even though...
all words, though, right?
Both of our boys have read it, and it's like a sexual situation twice in the book. But really, what 1984 is about government control, and you can't listen to anything the government doesn't want you to listen to. You can't do anything the government doesn't want you to do.
Wait, why?
It's information that people in power don't want you to have free thought, really. So like the other ones on this list, and this is not a new list, this is just like overall.
I'm not seeing American Psycho on your list. Are you telling me that American Psycho isn't a banned book? Because it's way graphic.
Here's what happens is that school boards get like...
Oh, so this is just in context of schools.
Yes.
So American Psycho is probably not on curriculum and okay.
Right.
I get you.
But also then what the school will ban a book, and then the surrounding bookstores have to make a choice. Do they sell that book? Or do they take that book off the shelves? Or do they do what some bookstores have done and they make a special shelf saying banned books, and they make they make a whole display of it. What
A lot of this is around sexual content.
And my thoughts of this is that it is just a bullshit thing to say so they can say, oh, this is very bad. Because
Well, it's very vague, right? What is the sexual content?
If someone goes, Lord of the Rings, you don't want to read this book, Lord of the Rings, because it's got satanic material.
No, it doesn't.
Well, me as a person that's, oh my God, I'm afraid of hell and the devil, I'm not going to read that book, right?
Yeah.
So
You're not afraid of hell and the devil.
I'm playing a character here.
Okay. You got to do a different voice.
I am afraid of the Satan, so I won't read Lord of the Rings. You are correct, Georgia.
But that
right?
doesn't have any satan. Is it because of the magic?
Yes,
okay,
because only the devil
right.
has magic, right?
No.
Okay, right. So, but then when
God has magic.
as a thinking person,
Yeah.
go and read that book and then go, wait, there's only 2 sexual situations in all of 1984.
Right.
And it has nothing to do with the actual overall message.
Are either of those sexual situations, let me ask you this.
I'm not exactly sure. Now, admittedly, I have not read some of these, like Fahrenheit 451. I have not read. 1984. I'm sort of like in the first part of it. I have read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I've read The Handmaid's Tale. I've read The Alchemist. I've read some of these.
But Guide to the Galaxy is banned for a singular use of the word whore.
Yes.
So
one word.
So extracting from the lie about Tolkien and then the use of one word whore in Galaxy, we can probably assume that the sexual content.
This is what I'm saying.
Also, I've read Looking for Alaska, and I don't remember there being sexual content that I would say, I don't want anyone to ever know about. Right? Like, what was even sexual in that? Like, because he liked her?
So it's such...
Because he was attracted to her, or they kissed? They didn't sex. Did they have sex in Looking? I don't remember. It's been a while. John Green.
They banned The Diary of Anne Frank because she talks about her period.
Yeah,
No. She mostly talks about how she was hiding from an army of people that wanted to murder her and her sister and her mother and father.
Yeah.
How she had to hide for a couple of years.
The Anne Frank one, that's not why they banned it. They didn't ban it because she spoke about her period. They banned it because they didn't want people to know more about the thing they're trying to hide.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. All of these reasons are bullshit.
Yeah, this kite runner pro-Islam. What?
Islam is not terroristic.
Yeah.
Islam is a religion. People are terroristic.
That's, banning something for pro-Islam is like banning something for pro-Christianity because Westboro Baptist Church exists, right? Like,
yes. So a few days after this mouse banning came up, a Tennessee church decided that they were going to have a book burning. And
of course.
People brought books that had sexual content or an underlying gay message or satanic or anything that they felt accosted their beliefs. Yeah. They threw in a fire of burning books. Now, it is 2022. Never, maybe in a million years, but never in like a long time did I think that we were still at that point where there would be people who would just blindly follow someone else's ignorant decisions.
No, I mean, that's the whole basis of society is people, generally speaking, individuals are intelligent and they can think for themselves. But once you get them into groups, you don't want your peers to ostracize you. So you go, I'm going to go along with this, even if I don't know if I fully believe this. And you do it.
See, I forget that there aren't people like me.
You're not like that.
I forget that people are that people just don't question things. They go, oh, well, that topic scares me, so I won't look into it further. I'll just believe anything.
Right, but there's also stuff like, you and I are both guilty of it. If it's something we agree with, we go, oh, that's probably true because we already agree with it. That's our bias.
Yeah, but I wouldn't go to a public event and throw a book in. Like,
that's not because you don't agree with that.
I don't know. It's just.
Do you get what I'm saying? It's like the people participating, and I'm not trying to play devil's advocate here. I'm just saying I truly believe the people participating in the book burning are going along because it already fits into the narrative that they've built for their lives.
Yeah, but
not that they go, I individually believe burning every book that's got a piece of sexual content in it is necessary, but because they've built a life around those belief systems, and then their church, who has a lot of power in their life, goes, we're doing this, and they might go, oh, I don't know, but everyone else is doing it, I guess I'll just do it. Right? Sort of like you, if you're at work and everybody at work is doing something and like working late every night. You're going to start working late every night because you don't want to lose your job and you don't want to look like the person who's not pulling their weight. Mm-hmm. That's how humans work. We're all guilty of it.
Yeah.
No one is above that
herd mentality.
Herding mentality. No one is, right? We have a few bright shining stars who fight against it, like the guy who showed up at that book burning
with his husband and made fun of the whole thing. But the reality is most of those people weren't there going, I can't wait to burn all the books. They were there going, this is a church event and I'm part of that church community. And that's why I know
churches that are like anti-gay,
I just feel like that's such a sad thing.
It's super sad, but we're all like that. We're all capable of that.
Then that's humanity's downfall, is depending on other people.
Yeah, but we do it with veganism, right? And plant-based stuff. If we hear something like, oh, this is good for the animals, we just go, well, that's something we believe in. And we're glad that's good for the animals.
Even then, I think you have to still question.
Yeah, we do.
And do your research and do your own, like.
We don't do our research. We look into something, we dig around.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Research is like.
Okay, I don't go to like a Harvard library and, hit the books for 4 hours. That's not what I mean. I mean, I pull out my Google machine and I go, hey, Google, is this shit real?
Right.
And then I look at a few different articles.
For every single thing, though? There's nothing that you just take at face value?
The things that I set my heart on, I absolutely do. Mm. Or I have one of my kids do it. Yeah. I say, Liam, look this up. What time does a 6-year-old need to go to bed in order to have proper sleep? Because my little kid is not falling asleep until 10:04. Yeah. Please help. Yeah. Right? I'm not going to just accept things. Right. And I think can make me.
There's nothing. There's nothing in your life that you just accept automatically. My point that I'm trying to make is that when something aligns with what we already believe, it's way easier for us to just accept new knowledge of that course. Right?
I agree.
Here's something very innate, right? Like Magic the Gathering. Okay, I'm bringing it back to card games, right? Yes. If I believe that the lightning bolt card is super, super powerful, and then I've proven that to myself over and over again by using it to win games, right? Uh-huh. And then somebody else says to me, oh no, but chain lightning is better. I'm not going to automatically believe that because I've already bought into the idea that lightning bolt is working and working and working. Yeah. But then if somebody else says lightning bolt is the best card ever made, ever printed, nothing tops it ever. Because I've proven to myself over and over again that it works and it's good, I am more likely to just accept that completely crazy claim than the other one that goes against the bias of my lightning bolt, right? So somebody supporting that lightning bolt is good, I'm just automatically like, see, this guy knows what he's talking about. But somebody's saying, no, this card's better, and I go, suspicious. Because I've built up a bias for myself, right? Of believing that this card is good. It might not be good, and it's only good in the vacuum of the games I've played from
Right.
my point of view, right?
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying about it is like, I don't think every single person at that book burning was
right.
there cheering on a book burning as much as they were there because they believed their pastor, the guy who set it up, the church, the community.
And
they didn't want to be left out.
How long has humankind done that? Followed
Always.
somebody because they are a man of God.
Always.
Yeah.
Christianity still exists in 2022 because that's the way we're wired. Most of us don't want to lead. Most of us just want to exist.
We want to be led.
Yeah.
Well, I don't. Fuck that.
Well, you do, though, in some ways. Not
No,
in
I want you
all.
to make the phone calls. I don't want you to lead. Fuck that. You know what I mean? I'm not a good human. That's where we're.
No.
I'm not good for the humankind. That's what we're. That's what we're.
I see. You're an anomaly human. Yeah, I can agree with that.
Okay, cool.
You are. I'm not saying that you don't do all of the things you're saying you do, because you do.
No, but
you are one of the
you make
most.
a great point.
You are one of the most stubborn and inquisitive and curious people I know.
You make a great point. Like, you make a great point. Period.
Yeah.
That's my statement.
That's the tweet.
Now, I'm not going to that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I get you. I understand you.
Okay.
Is it? Let me ask you a question.
I can't go there. That there's, out of an armful of people, there might be, a couple good ones in there.
Right.
Overall, morally good. But I can't believe that every person is, good. I can't do that.
Do you think that do you think it's wrong to hope that your debut novel gets banned? And two, do you think there's any chance in hell that my debut novel doesn't get banned, knowing what you know about the content?
No, I think it'd be a good thing to be banned, personally, just because I'm a rebel.
Too. The author of Mouse says that his book sells best when people ban it.
You know what? Amazon's having a hard time keeping it in stock. I want the
that's
workbook.
Wonderful. Yeah.
I've been looking for the workbook to go along with it, the complimentary.
Yeah.
And it keeps going out of stock. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I know what you mean.
I need more people that fight back and go, well, why? That's what I need.
Well, obviously there are, though, because if it's selling out when people say, hey, this is banned, or don't look at this, then that tells you that there are a lot of people who want to just do what they're not told to do.
Yep. And it's not that I want to do what I'm told being not to do, whatever that is. It's not that I'm, doing it on purpose. It's that I know for a fact that someone else has an agenda.
Yeah.
I know for a fact that someone else wants to control someone else. I know people.
Yeah.
I've seen it. I've seen shit. So I know for a fact that it's not that they want to protect young minds.
No, they want to protect themselves. It's like that argument about critical race theory, and they don't want the people who are against critical race theory being taught in schools is because they don't want their family members to see photographs of them throwing rocks at children, right? Yeah. Because they're the one. This is so fresh that there are people still alive who were at those schools in the 60s yelling at children, right?
And it's not that I want to go and show my little kids a book about the Holocaust and the atrocities done to
No, there's still
Jewish
age
people.
appropriateness, but you don't hide these things from people either. You allow them to consume and judge for themselves.
Yeah.
If you come out of reading one of these banned books, continued with the impression that it is bad and should be banned, that's 100% your thing to do if you want.
Yeah,
right?
like I've read Lord of the Flies. Okay, that's a banned book for Lord knows what reason. Right. It's a banned book, but I've read it. I've read it in high school, and then I read it again when I was teaching it, whatever. I don't necessarily like the book. I think, the author wrote the book because he was a teacher and he didn't like his, high society class or whatever, whatever.
Right.
It's not necessarily an amazing book, but that doesn't mean that someone shouldn't be able to read it if they want.
Yeah.
Or I don't think it should be taught because I don't know that it has I think every book should have or can have a meaning to something or someone.
I think there's
doesn't necessarily mean it needs to be taught in schools.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we should always be examining what we're teaching in the curriculum and make sure that it's up to date and makes sense, right?
But once you put it on a list for a bullshit reason, just say the reason then.
What is Lord of the Flies banned for?
I think it's
satanic again.
Yeah, they go wild and they start like killing each other and animals.
And animals of cruelty, that part.
The animal part
that's distasteful to us, right? So, but we don't want to ban the book because of it, even though that's something we don't want to read about.
But you just, even it was taught in schools and my kids read it.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to flip out and make a big old deal about it either.
Right. Anyways, I love you.
I love you too.
If you enjoyed this episode of the Lou and Me podcast, subscribe on iTunes, YouTube, or Spotify.
And follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Lou and Me Podcast.
Lou and Me is a Matthiasaurus production, produced and edited by Muse. The song is No Carpets by the New Forevers, hosted by Lou and me.
Thanks for listening.